Hey Summoners, how's it going? My name is Nathaning, and today we'll be going over everything that we know about the new champion, Renata. Even though Zeri came out a few weeks ago, Riot surprised us with yet another champion, this time a support with some pretty insane abilities. Let's jump right in. Well, before we get started, remember that everything that we talk about in this video might change before Renata is actually released. Honestly, when the leaks were coming out yesterday, I didn't think that Riot would release a champion with abilities like these, but here we are. Let's get started with the passive. Renata's passive is called Leverage. Her basic attack marks her enemies and deals bonus damage. Damage from Renata's abilities consume the mark, dealing additional damage. I really actually like this passive. It encourages you to weave in your auto attacks when trading, which a lot of supports don't. It also has synergy with the rest of her kit, but we'll get into that in a bit. Moving on to her Q, Handshake, RENATA GLASC sends out a missile from her robotic arm that roots the first enemy hit. I don't know how this really works, but if she holds you with her hand, I'm not opposed. She can reactivate this ability to throw the champion in a target direction, damaging enemies and stunning them if the thrown target is a champion. On paper, this sounds like a really strong ability. Sure, it can be blocked by minions, but you can also block Thresh's hook. The fact that Renata can choose which direction the enemy is sent is really powerful, and in a team fight, Renata is barely punished if she grabs the enemy tank. All she has to do is throw them into the rest of the enemy team for a stun. Now let's talk about Renata's most controversial ability, her W, Bailout. She grants an allied champion or herself ramping attack speed and movement speed towards enemies. If the ally gets a takedown on the enemy champion, that buff duration resets. If the ally dies while Bailout is active, their health is set back to full, but they begin burning to death over 3 seconds. Oh my goodness, the ally can stop the burn by getting a champion takedown before they die. Yeah, you heard that right. Riot removed chem tank soldiers and put it on a champion and make it even stronger. And guess what? The ally has a chance to fully revive. For a second, let's pretend this ability doesn't revive your teammates. It would still be a boost to attack speed and movement speed, which is pretty much Lulu's W, but without the ability to polymorph. The fact that the buff duration resets on kill makes champions with resets insanely powerful. Master Yi, Samara, and even an AB champion like Katarina could take massive advantage of having Renata on their team. But enough about that, let's talk about Renata's E, Loyal Program. RENATA GLASC sends out Chemtech rockets that shield allies and damage and slows enemies that they pass through. The rockets also apply their effect around her on cast in an explosion at max range. This ability has a pretty confusing description, but the best way to describe it is as a mantra karma Q that shields allies and slows enemies. You don't need to really worry about your E being blocked since it goes through allies and enemies, but you'll need a position so that you get the most out of every E. I think most players will end up maxing this ability unless your Q or W have insane numbers. Now let's go over what everybody's been waiting for, her ultimate. Renata's ultimate is called Hostile Takeover. She sends out a cloud of chemicals that causes enemies to go berserk, increasing their attack speed and forcing them to base attack anything around them. Berserk enemies prioritize attacking their own allies, then neutral units, then Renata's team, then Renata herself. Let's get this one out of the way. This ultimate looks like one of the best team fighting ults in the game. The travel time is actually pretty slow, kind of like Maokai's ult but faster. With how much mobility is in the game, I don't think people realize how easy it is to get out of a slow-moving AoE. With that said, there's a lot of complexity with this ultimate. For example, you can't really peel your ADC with this ability. If it's you, your Jinx, and the enemy Talon, hitting the enemy Talon will literally make him kill your Jinx faster. We'll need to see more first, but overall this ultimate is going to be a complete game changer. Now that we've gone over her abilities, what do you think about RENATA GLASC? Do you think that she'll be balanced on release, or will Riot hotfix her like Zeri? Looking at her kit alone, she has both hard CC and soft CC, shields, and a buff that resets and revives her teammate. Once people understand her, she's really going to make support fun to play. However, probably not being played against. I really don't know what type of build that she will use though. If her ratios are decent, she might end up building full AP, otherwise Imperial Mandate seems like the obvious choice. And that wraps up everything that we know so far about RENATA GLASC. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe for more League content. Stay safe, stay healthy, and happy Lunar New Year. Have a good one. Peace.